We'll do a Batman draft now. Okay, let's we got to figure out who's first, second, and third for the order. Snake draft. I'll tell you what the items of the Batman draft are going to be, but here's the order. The order is I got first pick. That's great. Can't lie. I'm pretty excited. Followed by Chris, Robbie, and KenJac. Here's the things we're going to be drafting: Batman, villain, side character, Batmobile, and movie. I'm up first, so I will be selecting The Dark Knight. It's one of two picks for me there. I think the obvious one of what I also would have picked, I won't say. I think it's pretty obvious what I would have picked if I hadn't gone. If I had the second pick and I didn't have The Dark Knight, probably pretty obvious on that one. So I'm going to go with my movie first. I'm going to go with The Dark Knight. Chris has the second pick. Chris, what are you picking here in the ultimate Batman draft?
Yeah, well, I think I would have gone with the one. What your next pick would have been. Villain, forever iconic. Heath Ledger is the Joker.
Right.
To me, you can't. It's so weird because when that movie came out, weeks before it came out, people were saying right away, this is one of the best villains ever in a movie. And the fact that he not only lived up to the hype, but exceeded the hype. Do
you remember what the thing people talk about most about the Joker was? The one scene they referenced?
Was it the scene where he was in the body bag?
The pencil scene.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking
you want to see a magic trick was a thing that I think was referenced. Like that was the thing you heard, I think, like out of the theater, people talk like, you got to see the magic trick thing was like, because that's where people, if you didn't know it, that was his first scene. Well, second scene, because the opening scene is his first scene. That was the first scene where it's like, if you didn't buy it and you didn't think you were going to buy him, you were like, oh shit, this guy's awesome.
I mean, just one of the great film performances ever. Truly. I mean, you can't top it. Heath Ledger, forever an all-time great actor for that performance. So yeah, that's my pick.
Robbie, what are you going with? Batman draft.
I'm going to take my Batman. I mean, it's tough. A movie's been taken, a villain's been taken, so I'm going to go with another thing, and I'm going to take the Kevin Conroy Batman.
Yeah, he's always first on my list.
Yeah, this is the Batman that I read when I read comics. I've talked about the animated series a couple times already on this episode. It's the series that I grew up with. I've got all of the DVDs, which are now useless because it's all on HBO Max, but I have them. If you want to borrow them, if you don't have HBO Max, hit me up. I'm going to take Kevin Conroy. He's the GOAT in my opinion.
Damn it, man. The
voice is so good. It's just honestly, like part of the beauty of us doing movie rankings.net is I feel like KenJac and I have dove into things that we hadn't always watched. And I actually I'd seen some of the older, like a couple of the Batman animated stuff, but I've dove way more into Batman animated stuff. And it truly is just, I mean, DC animated is kind of untouchable. It's
bizarre how good that series is. Like it just feels like out of place compared to everything else, not just from an animated standpoint, but just compared to other live action stuff. It's so good. It's so adult, even though it is technically, a kid show.
Yeah. There was a lot of this movie that reminded me of the animated series, like just in the universe and the like Gotham feeling like my friend Jose Young said Gotham feels like it's in a snow globe in the animated series. And I love that description.
That's
like
so well
it's
said.
Just like an alternate universe where you're like blimps in the sky. What is this? Like that had a little dynamic in the Batman dynamic, no pun intended, dynamic duo. Oh
yeah. True.
KenJac, your back-to-back picks here. End of round one, first pick of round two.
I think I'm going to go with villain because I think the villain pool is unfortunately a little thin. I'm going to go with the Jack Nicholson Joker. Jack Nicholson Joker, I'd say, is the 1B Joker to Heath Ledger, who's the greatest Batman villain ever. He is absolutely fantastic in that role. And hearing the stories about how he truly poured a lot into that. He's like, I had the most fun and the most effort that I put all that into Batman versus almost any other project I've ever done. And I think it paid off. He was absolutely fantastic. It's obviously very different from Ledger, but man, dude, Nicholson absolutely crushed that movie. I think he's a very obvious pick for me. Next gets a little bit harder. It's like, do I want to take a movie because movies are going to start getting thin soon? I want to take a Batman because the Batman will get thin soon. Shoot, I'll take the Batman. I'll take the Batman. I'll take the movie. I need to get the movie out of the way sooner rather than later because I think that's
you can run out of real estate real quick on the movie side of things. That is for sure. You can take 89, but you can. Yeah, you can run out of real estate there. Next up is Robbie. Robbie, your second pick of round two.
Back to me. Interesting. I don't know. This is a tough draft because I don't know where I should go on the list, but I'm gonna go villain, and I'm gonna go back to back animated series picks here. I'm gonna take Mark Hamill's Joker. I know we're just taking Jokers at this point, but there really are a lot of great Joker interpretations. So I'm gonna take Mark Hamill's Joker, and yeah, he's again, when I read comics, that's the voice that comes out of the Joker, that clown prince of crime, like just villainous, sinister laugh. Yeah.
That is the laugh for me. Like Heath Ledger is the iconic like live action, but the laugh for me is the Mark Hamill laugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Chris, you're picking round 2.
I'm going with a Batman, and I'm going with the recent one. I'm going with Pattinson. I thought an amazing performance, and just his physicality. Robbie, you made this comparison. I thought it was very, a good comp. There was something Darth Vader-esque to the fact that he just had this presence when he walked into a room or walked into, an alley or just entered a frame, entered a shot. You felt Batman there. Giacchino's score was a big reason for that, but just an amazing performance, and I think will over time become probably the definitive live action version of the character. I'm going with Pattinson as Batman.
I would have gone Pattinson, but I'm going to go now with the last pick in round 2. I'm going to go Michael Keaton Batman, who I'm just so excited to see in The Flash. Just so amped to see. For me, he is my favorite Bruce Wayne too. I will say,
really?
I think Christian Bale's a better Bruce Wayne than he is a Batman. I think Christian Bale's a great Bruce Wayne, but I'm such a big Michael Keaton fan, and that's like the vision of Batman to me is the Michael Keaton Batman. So yeah, I'm gonna go Michael Keaton. I can leave villain because everyone else has picked a villain. Do I go side character? I will say Batmobile. I hate the Tumblr. I hate it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan either. I like the Batmobile
I love
as a car.
I'm gonna go the Batman '89 Batmobile because again, for me, the Batman '89 Batmobile is like that is the Batmobile to me. Even though I will say this new one is number 2 for me. This new one is definitely number 2. It is a badass, and I like that we didn't get too much of it either. Like you said, like we got really one main scene with it. I like that we really didn't get too much of it. We got his bike. We got the motorcycle a lot. But I'll go Batman '89 Batmobile.
Fun fact
Chris,
about that.
You're up next.
I believe the scene in Batman Returns where it armors up when he like locks up and there's just armor that forms all around it is the first CG shot in any Batman movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I believe it. Yeah.
I believe that. That makes complete sense, actually.
It's either that or when he throws the Batarang in that movie and it does like a POV shot of the Batarang going from villain to villain.
Oh, that sounds
There's
great.
2 CGI shots in that movie. Those are the 2.
So the shark in the Adam West Batman movie, that was not a CG shot.
No, that was real.
Yeah, so they got a real shark. Oh,
Yep,
good, that's
that was real.
great then. Yeah. Back when films were films. Back to me now, Jeff. Right.
Yep.
I'm somebody. There's a nostalgic element. I always liked the Tumblr. I thought it was, and I thought the Jason Begins with the Tumblr was awesome. But I'm going with what you almost went with. I'm going with the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batmobile as my next pick. I just love the design. I love that it's so drastically different from any other Batmobile, and just the design of it, the look, and the way it's used in the context of the movie is brilliant. So that's my pick.
Damn it.
Yeah.
In the last one.
Also loud, like in an awesome way.
Yeah.
You said like the theater I saw it in, not the newest theater in the world. It's not like an old rickety theater, but it ain't Dolby. It's not Dolby Atmos. I can tell you that right now. And it shook. It gave you the classic shaking of the walls, like the audio's peaking vibes. It was kind of badass. Like it just felt like an old nostalgic moment. Robbie, you have side character, Batmobile, and movie left.
I'm going to take my side character. I think I'm the first person to take a side character, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Michael Caine's Alfred. Chris referenced him before. Like, I love Michael Caine's Alfred. That scene, you trusted me and I failed you. Oh, every time. And when he's like a ruby the size of a tangerine, everything about Michael Caine's Alfred, I fucking love. Shout out Michael Caine. Shout out Alfred. Even just like, if we were saying as a Batman side character in general, not even a specific performance, Alfred's always been one of my favorites. He's the best.
Yeah.
How can you hate Alfred?
He should have gotten nominated for something for Rises. Like every scene in that movie, he's fucking crying. Like at the end,
He is.
the look on his face, but almost the final shot of that movie when he sees Bruce again, man.
One of the greatest head nods in cinematic history.
Yeah.
Oh, let's call it the greatest. Come on, there's no better head nod.
The score hits too at that right moment. Oh, beauty.
Yeah.
All right, shoot. So I got doubles now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with my Batmobile, and I mean, like the original Batmobile is so fucking cool, I think, but like I honestly do love the animated Batmobile so much. So I'm gonna go with the animated Batmobile. It's so sick. It's like so long. It's impossibly long. And it's just got that little thing in the little cockpit part in the back that opens up. I love the animated Batmobile growing up. So I feel like in the absence of not getting or in the absence of the Batman Batmobile, I got to go with that. And I'll go for side character. I did have a little bit of a sleeper pick here that I'm not going to pick. I was going to pick Martha Wayne's pearls because they are a character in Batman.
They are.
Martha Wayne's pearls. You see every single movie, you see those shits get torn off and they fall on the ground. They clatter, usually in slow motion as Joe Chill runs off with a handful of them. But instead, I'm going to go with Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Lucius Fox, sneakily one of the coolest characters probably in the entirety of The Dark Knight. He has so many great cool lines, like when he fires that guy off the board and when he like tells that one guy who's like, so you think this guy is like a mass vigilante that goes around beating people to a pulp and you first idea is to blackmail him. Like that part's so cool. He has so many great moments, and beyond that,
Logan Reese, right?
Yeah.
Coleman Reese.
Coleman Reese. Yeah.
I mean, showing off all the tech was always fun too, and just his general
Zoe 101. All right, continue.
His general, I think his just general demeanor too is just always so cool, and I feel like it's an easy pick for me. I think he's one of the best side characters in all of Batman, arguably the best. He was my number one on the board.
And was he in any of the comics?
I think he was in some, but I think like at this point, the most iconic version of that is the Morgan Freeman one.
Yeah, it was such a unique idea to have this character. Like, how does Batman? It was a question that had been asked for decades. It's like, how does he get this tech? How does he get all this stuff? And to have like a supplier there, such a neat little like twist they had. And yeah, in Morgan Freeman again, along with Michael Caine, really added a lot of heart and like levity to those movies that was needed. Yeah.
Robbie, Batmobile and movie.
Oh, this is tough. I'm going to take a movie here because I'm hoping my Batmobile pick will still be on the board. I'm going to take Batman Begins. I mentioned it earlier.
You should. All Batmobile's been selected. So,
well, yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm going to take Batman Begins. As I mentioned, it's my favorite Batman origin story. I love the Ra's al Ghul fake out with Liam Neeson and the other guy. I love Batman saving him. I love Batman getting his spikes from the League of Shadows and stuff. All the little stuff in that movie I adore. I looked up what the kid who plays Bruce Wayne looks like now the other day, and that made me feel old. The guy's got a beard, long hair. It's crazy. It's like, oh, what the fuck? But yeah, I'm going to take Batman Begins, in my opinion, the greatest Bruce Wayne / Batman origin story. I also love Bruce showing up to kill Joe Chill and someone else getting to him first, and that being like a total change for Bruce. Like, man, there's so much great stuff in that movie. So I'll take Batman Begins.
I always forget about that part.
Yeah. And that kid who played the young Bruce Wayne was really good. And I think my guess is probably just stopped acting at some point. But yeah, he was really heartbreaking. It was a really good child performance. It's me now, Jeff, right?
Yes, I assume you're gonna go side character.
No, I'm going movie. Because I adamantly love and defend The Dark Knight Rises. I think The Dark Knight Rises is severely underappreciated. It's not The Dark Knight. There's one really stupid thing in that movie, and it's let's have every cop in the city go underground and then get trapped. That was dumb. That was dumb. Funny. That was stupid. But I wrote a whole blog about this where I think The Dark Knight Rises is like one of the best movies ever made about depression and about a guy who feels like he's failed his entire life and let people down and learning. Like the arc of that movie is Bruce Wayne like learning to appreciate his own life again. I think it's really, really amazing. And there's some great lines, some great fight scenes, and that ending, the final exchange, man, I remember seeing it going into my junior year of high school. That final exchange between Gordon and Batman at the end about, a hero can be anyone. That was like, that's one of, gun to my head, that might be my favorite line ever in a comic book movie. That moved me to tears the first time I saw it. So I'm a big fan of Rises. I think it's brilliant. So I'm going with that. Yeah.
I've liked Rises more over time. I was a little let down by Rises when I first saw it, I remember, because I thought it was just too it felt like such a departure from the Dark Knight in terms of scale, because the scale of the Dark Knight I love so much. Even though the Joker had a big plan, but just something about it, like I didn't always love or have it work for me, but I have liked it more over time. And I know some Batman purists prefer it to the Dark Knight. I know that's a debate a lot of people have, is Dark Knight versus
Yeah,
Dark Knight
I can't go that far, but I do think it was a victim of the previous film's success.
I'm going to end here with side character, and then I'll take my villain. I'm going to go Michael Gough Alfred. Talked about him earlier. Shout out McGregor's syndrome. They cured it. He survived. He survived the Burton to Schumacher. Like he went through all of that. And he was just he's a great Alfred. He's got this great British vibe to him. Just an old man. Michael Caine's Alfred was like an older guy too, but he was like truly an old guy.
Yeah.
This Alfred.
He does bring
Very
Vicky
grumpy.
Vale to the Batcave in '89, though. And it's like, Alfred, what are you thinking?
Yeah, come on.
That's true. And then I'm going to go Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, for my villain.
Nice.
Sometimes it's so bad it's good works, and it is just, it's like, to me, for my childhood, it's an iconic pop culture character, and to this day, it will always make me laugh. No matter what one-liner it is. It's so bad. Batman and Robin is so bad, but I absolutely love it. Every bit of it is so entertaining and so stupid. And honestly, Arnold's not a terrible Mr. Freeze. He just had an awful script.
He could have been really good. If they gave him good material, I feel like he could have done a really good job. One thing, a movie scene that nowadays everyone would try to cancel is when Alfred and Batman and Robin is like, oh, by the way, what's her fucking name? Alicia Silverstone. I got all your exact measurements from your body and made a costume for you. Just like, how do you figure that out? Is it that your niece?
Well, if you there's two commentaries you can listen to on Batman and Robin. You listen to ours and Red Letter Media, and both imply that Alfred is super horny for every character.
Yes.
We do not pay much respect to Alfred, nor does Red Letter Media. It's quite funny.
Alfred CDs, terabytes of porn, like stuff you have nightmares.
For my side character, I saved this one for last because I knew nobody would go with them. I'm going back to The Dark Knight Rises, a character I loved, absolutely loved, and love what they did with him. John Blake in Dark Knight Rises. I thought that was such a cool little twist at the end. It was such a Nolan thing to do, that he was essentially Robin the entire time. And the fact that he's only in one movie, and yet by the end of that movie, when it's implied, he's taking over the Batman mantle, it makes sense. And a big reason for it was that era. I tweeted about it a couple weeks ago, where like Joseph Gordon-Levitt had this run in the mid 2000s to the mid 2010s, where everything he was in either was great or he was great in it. And that was like one of his absolute peaks. I thought that performance was great. Such a neat idea to give him his own Batman character arc without us even knowing that he was going to end up potentially being Batman. I thought that was such a cool, unique vision that they brought to that character. So John Blake, my side character there.
Robbie, Batmobile.
I'm so excited that I'm getting my number one Batmobile here, my favorite Batmobile in the entire arsenal, and it's the Adam West 1966 Batmobile. Turbines to speed, all that shit. I love that. The cave that they would come out of, that's actually just a tunnel in LA that they put a bunch of bushes in front of. The red accents on it. And actually, the Batmobile in this kind of reminded me in a little way of like the original. And so did the cowl. The stitching around the nose of Pattinson's cowl, I'm like, is that supposed to be the little design that Adam West has, like the little rectangle on his cowl? So I don't know. I grew up with that. I think I've told the story before. Like my mom would record every episode of it, every rerun on TV Land, and then she would label them by villain. And I would wake up to like a new villain. And I was like, oh my God, they had an Egghead episode last night. There's going to be 1,000 egg puns in this one. I'm in. So I'm taking the 66 Batmobile.
You know what the old Batman made me appreciate more was all of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy stuff on SpongeBob. Because all the referential stuff in that makes so much more sense after you watch it. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Last one. Right. KenJac, Batman.
All right, I need a Batman. And it's basically down to either Christian Bale or Will Arnett for me. And it's actually kind of hard because I think Will Arnett's probably like an actually functionally better Batman, like to the actual movie. Like, I don't think Christian Bale is what makes the Dark Knight trilogy great. by any means, and that's not to discredit him as an actor. It's just to say like the movie itself is like it's so fucking huge and grand. It's not necessarily like a character piece. And Will Arnett cracks me up as fucking Lego Batman. I assume he just does. But I feel like for the sake of this graphic, when it comes out, people will think I'll have the best steal in the world. Like the regular folks will think I'll have the hugest steal if I get Christian Bale. So I'll take Christian Bale.
Yeah, he gets more crap than I think he should because of the voice.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest critique, that he always gets the voice. And honestly, you know what? The voice is funny to make fun of, but it's not bad.
So it never bothered me that much. It doesn't sound
funny. Like, where is she is funny, but like what she does say in this, Pattinson does say, "Where is she?" Right?
Yeah.
It does inspire one of the great YouTube clips. The what do you want to eat, Jeremy, or whatever the kid's name is, and he's like, justice. He like chokes his mom out. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
that's an OG YouTube video right there.
So was Batman Forever the only live action Batman that isn't represented in this draft?
Probably, yeah. I don't even know. Like, I wouldn't take anything from that. Well, the Schwarzenegger. Technically,
right. Yeah. You know, I don't mean just like Batman.
I see what you mean.
Any sort of source material. Yeah, that's weird.
Wait, Forever.
And I know Lights
Batman
Camera
Forever.
Doesn't love Forever, but I do love Forever.
I did take Alfred, so it's sort of
true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's well, you know what? Was Batman v Superman represented in this at all?
No.
I would have liked to. I actually thought KenJac might take Henry Cavill Superman as side character, but
so actually, the opening weekend of that at a movie theater. By the way, it was hell.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, you told me. I've heard this story.
Yeah. Sneakily great Batmobile, that one, the BVS Batmobile, like all of it, because they had the full gamut. They had that big ass like freighter thing, and whatever that was. They had the Bat fighter jet hovercraft thing, whatever that was.
Fighter jet was pretty cool. Yeah, that was cool. I didn't love the Batmobile in Batman vs Superman. It was just like it was as thin as a fucking card, and it was I don't know.
I thought that
guns
scene
all over it.
The scene where they chase like that truck throughout the entire city, whatever, and then Superman just shows up and just like blocks it and just destroys it, like.
He just like, lasers it down around.
Yeah, literally. That scene I thought was one of the coolest parts of Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, the Batman stuff in that movie is probably the best stuff in that movie. Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah, easily. It's really too bad because I shit on that Batman all the time just because he's a psychopath, and his his logic, his reasoning for hating Superman is one of the dumbest motivations ever in a movie. Well, yeah, if there's a 1% chance, we need to take it as a certainty. No, you fucking don't. Shut up. What are you talking about? But it sucks because Ben Affleck is actually really good in that, and he's the best part of it. And his Bruce Wayne is actually pretty layered and interesting. It just sucks that everything around him, I thought was pretty lame. But yeah,
Sneaky,
I think
under talked about. By the way, he shaved his head and insisted on wearing a wig to be Bruce Wayne.
Really?
That actually really? Why?
I don't know. He said he wanted like a more comic accurate comb over. But he was bald and wearing a wig in that movie.
Well, and that's the other thing you give him credit for is in terms of page to film, Ben Affleck is, I think, physically probably the most comic accurate Bruce Wayne that we've had. I mean, Pattinson looks like some older versions, of the character, especially some of the early, Batman stuff. But Ben Affleck's a big, he's a built dude. The other guys like Keaton and Bale, they were like tiny guys that just bulked up and got into really good shape. Affleck's actually he looked like Batman should probably look.
I will always say
that workout scene.
He was
the warehouse scene everyone goes back to because it's fucking sick.
No, I'm saying the workout scene.
The workout
where he works out and he's just like doing like a CrossFit
training
workout.
montage. Yeah, the warehouse scene is awesome though.
Yes. Agreed.
That's it. Good one, long one, but a fun one. The Batman, one of the more anticipated movies of the year. Crazy. Our next comic book movie is Morbius.
Oh, great.
Which, by the way,
bit of a come down.
Yeah,
I saw this movie at Cinemark, and Cinemark does like a special extra Morbius trailer.
Oh,
you gotta get it twice. It's like, jeez. And then after that, Doctor Strange, though, which I'm Doctor Strange.
Awesome.
Talk about a movie that's given away a lot in its trailers. Jesus, I feel like I've seen all of Morbius. Why do we need to review it? I think the entire thing has been released. I've seen that trailer a million times.
So many times.
They're excited for I'm excited for Morbius just because of what it is, but more excited, obviously, for big reasons. Doctor Strange. That's it. For Chris, Robbie, and KenJac, we'll be doing Turning Red and the Adam Project next week. I'm Jeff Lowe. We'll talk to you then.